the Indians continue to move back from the riverbank on this side, out of the line of fire, the infantry, and the Sanzak have decided to cross the river. They're going to attack from the flank, because otherwise that crossing of the army, the cavalry are coming through here, they might be able to skip around here and cross on the ford unopposed. Down here against the other column, the Hunkpapa and Blackfeet Braves has found a cunning tactic. They have advanced their dismounted Braves here and here at the front, so they're out of range of the infantry, but any cavalry coming in to skirmish them will be stopped in the zone of control, so the cavalry will not be able to combat the mounted Braves here. And the idea is to draw the cavalry out, and then the Braves will come and pick them off from behind their protection of the firing line. And the Cheyenne have moved up here, and the Ogallala have come down off the bluff they were occupying here, so the Indians are preparing for a full assault here, and a more considered assault here to try and draw off the cavalry. If in fact the army advance their infantry, then I think these will retreat again. We shall see. The next turn, and the cavalry fall back. Some of them entering the woods on foot. The Gatling guns have moved up here. They will be ready to fire next turn. The infantry have moved up here, out of range of the American firing line, and the cavalry have all moved up round here on this flank. Two units having charged this single firing unit, he will get a chance to give chance fire, and the rest of the cavalry massed here, hoping to pick the Indians off down the line like this, something like that. And over here, very risky manoeuvre. It's feeling like Indians are coming over the water here and here, so they decided they're going to have to make a move, coming across the ford, and cavalry, with firing infantry units on the flank and some in the centre there. So the idea is to keep the Indians back while they come across. We'll see how it works. The Sanzak steam around here successfully, bringing many of their Braves up to combat 3 infantry units here. The others have moved forward to defend the camp. They must defend the camp. They're now going to be fired at in the next turn by the army fellows, but at least it's not at half range, which gets a bonus. And half of the Minicola Braves have made it over the river, and they will be fighting them here, the army fellows here. And over here we have the Cheyenne and the Ogallala moving in for the kill on these cavalry here. And the Hunkpapa and the Blackfeet had performed a retreating manoeuvre, and they fortified some of their foot soldiers. The foot soldier there was just completely wiped out by those 2 charging units. Good news is, though, they won't be able to charge next turn. There's more cavalry here which could come through to charge these. Their zones of control will hold them back, and they're out of fire range of here. And there's space now there wasn't the space here for enough Indian Braves to combat the charging units here. Now hopefully there's more space for any charging units to be surrounded, or at least attacked by many units for a decent combat column. Okay, so I'll now do the attacks up in the north there. Okay, these two infantry units here are a value of 10 strength, and they're against 6 braves at a total of 48 strength. So that's more than 3.5 to 1 there, just instantly wiped out. And up here, oh, hang on a sec, I forgot chance fire. Okay, they will have chance fire attack, so it's -1 for chance fire. Okay, I'll work that out and come back. Okay, so the army infantry had +1 for being within close range and a -1 for being chance fire. They rolled a 3 and a 4, so that's 2 quarterings of strength, so that's one unit essentially goes down to half strength. That's all, that's still not enough to save them, so they get wiped out. If they had eliminated these units, then that chief would have had to roll, and on a 5 or 6 they would have been killed. So here the chance fire is the same, 1 full strength unit rolls a 6, which is a half, so he knocks one of these full strength units down to half. And the attack is still, okay, sorry, so the attack is 12 to 5, that's 2 to 1. No modifiers there. 2 to 1 on a 5 is defender eliminated. Okay, and then here we have these two units will have their chance fire, both against here. That's 3, that's quarter down, and a 6 half down, so 3/4 of one of those units is gone, which gives us 26 against 5. That's 26 against 10, so that's 2.5 to 1 and 1 DD, so that's defender retreats and is halved. Now the army do not have to retreat 2 hexes, but I believe he will, to cover the flank. Okay, and so that is the end of, I think it's the 8th turn. I knocked my marker, but anyway, that's the end of another turn. We'll go back to the armies. So will the army press forward and attack the camp here, or will they, being pressed on both flanks, retreat back up the bluffs? The army elect to stand their ground, wiping out 3/4 of a unit here, 3/4 of a unit here, and 1.5 units here. So the cavalry will move in. 1, 2. Actually, you really need tweezers with these counters because they're so light, and small and light, they fly around very easily. Oh, see, I've lost one there, disappearing underneath the hill. Can I get it? Yeah. Okay, there he is. Okay, so Gibson's not full strength. Ah, so only one of those could actually charge. Okay, let's say he leaves them back. He's charging with him. Gibson will stay back there, he doesn't want to die. Well, and I as the overall commander tell him not to, because that could send the army packing if all the leaders die. But one incidental note, normally these halved, these reduced cavalry cannot charge, but Custer, any cavalry with him can always charge, no matter how reduced they are. The question though is what their strength would be. Not stated in the rules, I guess it would just be proportionately like half again. Now you can't charge down slopes, so unfortunately these will not be able to charge. They could go across the river. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then they'll probably be wiped out by all of this lot next turn. So we're going to keep them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that asking for trouble? Probably yes. I'll stay up there. And these cavalry. 1, 2. And stay here to support these. And these are going to have to stay there to guard the fort. Okay, so that's the cavalry moves. We just I'll do them after. Do this charge. So that's 24. Oh no, they get chance fire. In fact, all of these could get chance fire. He won't be able to move next turn. That's the thing. So only he chance fires. Gets a 4. 1 to 1, that's a quarter, so one of these is quartered, so one of that's good because then he's not on a full charging strength. So what do we have? 12 plus 6, 18 versus 8, that's 2 to 1, so could wipe out a leader. 2 to 1 with a 2, no modifiers. 2 gives us DD. So defender halved and retreats 2, 1, 2. And take him down. So so you can see the losses are accumulating pretty quickly. In fact, 1, 2. There's nothing else, so you can't move through friendly troops. We'll do that. Okay. Now, down here, I'll just take a moment to think about this. The cavalry retreat back down here. Some of them are coming through the woods on foot. There's an infantry unit here designed to cover the retreat. The Gatling guns have moved forward, so they're still not ready to fire yet. These infantry have moved forward, and the two previously charged units moved around here, and this single unit has been charged, so he'll undoubtedly get wiped out. But the danger is then there's many braves that could surround these two, maybe that unit. But there's not that much space, so it's working. Not that many braves will be able to get in, so I think it's working to the army's advantage. So that single brave gets to fire with 6, so he knocks one of these down to half strength. Okay, so that's going to be against him. That's plenty enough to wipe him out. Okay, and then we go over to the Indian time. Okay, so these ones are under attack, these charged ones are under attack, and these are still staying out of range of the fire. I'm going to stop the video now before my phone dies from the heat and I lose it, and maybe we'll pick this up again a bit later. One last look at the battlefield, Little Bighorn River Valley. Three-dimensional peak forces. It's the 16th turn of the game, and we're reaching an interesting point here. Something's going to have to give. You can see that all of the forces that were massed around the Indian camp have now moved over here. The army retreated, their column has been seriously depleted. Here's the cavalry at the American army losses, though here's are the Indian losses, so I think they're about equal. So that column retreated back to this column. It was able to do so because this column has essentially been holding a defensive posture. It hasn't felt strong enough to attack the Indians that are surrounded it, and they haven't felt strong enough as they are to attack it, because if one wing attacked, then the infantry, say if this wing attacked here, these infantry riflemen would be able to hold off one attack on this front, so then these would be able to come and reinforce the attack here. So that's essentially been a sort of holding position, although the Indians have gradually moved in through the woods. They've taken out some army fellows there, and some of them retreated. So we have the Gatling gun units here. Oh, yes, they're in position to protect from any incursion through the woods. So these are intending to infiltrate over the river to reinforce this group, and then things would sort of stay put unless the Indians, now having some more reinforcements, feel they have overwhelming numbers on one side or the other, actually necessarily be on this side, to make the attack. My thinking is that the Indians would sort of make the movement that will decide the game, but really it should be the army that is making the movement, because they start the game with 10 victory points, this scenario, and they need actually they would win the game if that was so. If they had equivalent losses and they hadn't taken any hexes of the Indian camp, they would actually win the game, but some of that's minus from the Indian activations. So yes, I think the army could retreat at this point off the board, call it a draw, and win very slightly on points. So they may be satisfied to do that, and I think if this was a real situation, that's what they would do. Move out and live to fight another day. Sorry, quick interruption. Yes, so the army starts with 10 victory points, and the Redskins win on a total of less than 0. So the army starts with 10, they get 24 for the Redskins they have killed, minus 20 for the army units that have been killed, and then minus 3 for the starting activation difference that the Redskins have, which gives them a grand total of 11 so far. So they would be able to retreat off the board without having attacked the camp at all, but having incurred slightly more losses on the Redskins than they have taken with a victory. Well, I've just been talking to the camera while it wasn't. So this means that the onus of attack is now on the Indians. So the Redskins have leapt in and they went to the attack. They first whittled away some infantry units there, which actually resulted in almost complete elimination of the Blackfeet, the Piedi Neri. But it did the trick. It kind of opened a flank, and although they've sustained tremendous losses, Piedi Neri almost wiped out. These ones are about half strength. These ones are about half strength now. They've opened up the line. There was a whole line here. They sort of took a bit of a desperate attack because many of their attacks were on 1-to-1, which is on a 1-to-4. The attacker takes the losses. But they had some lucky rolls, and it meant that they needed some soak-off attacks while they took some 2-to-1 attacks down here, which have opened up a hole to them. So now it looks like it's all in the balance, and it's the army turn to go. Custer himself had his units wiped out from underneath him on the defensive line here, but he managed to survive and retreat back here. Now here's the army's problem. This unit did chance fire in the Redskins' turn, so it cannot move this turn. It can fire again this turn, but really what the army needs is to use the river and sort of crab their way up here towards the camp, their objective, or at least to use the river as a flank, because you can see there's not really enough of them now for a double line defensive position stretching from the river all the way to this unit. So the decision is whether to leave that unit to its fate and regroup the rest of them around here, or to risk a next Indian attack with it. The thing is that is a infantry unit which are very valuable. There aren't many left, because that was the prime target of the Piedi Neri, the Blackfeet. That's where they were decimated, but they were decimated taking out the infantry. The armies seek to preserve their cohesion, and Custer withdraws some of his men here, and they have an isolated attack on the edge of the Braves here.